I'm Bill.
And I'm Candace.
And we're the Disruptors.
It was nice of you to pull your tricycle in, Bill.
Oh, I know. I'd like a little... I have a couple of complaints.
Then you can't even talk.
Well, the complaints are so big. I got big complaints. I can't... No parking spot for me with a little sign out there? Nothing?
No.
Wow. And that pet gorilla that you hired to beat me up before I came in the office, that was a...
That's a Sasquatch.
No, oh darn! I knew I.
There's a sighting.
There's a sighting. Today we're going to talk about something that's really very important for your health.
I think you should go ahead and tell us, what is the topic?
If I could pronounce it, I could jump right in there.
It's called Thermography.
That'll work. I
like that. We can start there.
Okay, let's do that. And before you bore her to death, you could introduce our guest.
Well, we're really fortunate because we have Shanna Rivera in our studio today, and she is a thermographer.
Right.
Okay. Yay! We're already getting it. See, Bill, read my lips. Okay. So, tell us, first of all, a little bit about you and what it is that you do and why we should care.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a long story.
I know, right?
Okay, well, my name's Shanna Rivera, and I'm originally from Massachusetts. I went to school for accounting, and before I was a thermographer, I used to work as a hotel accounting manager.
Wow.
And it really stressed me out. It stressed me out a lot to the point where I had physical, unexplained pain in my body that I tried to treat with pharmaceutical drugs that actually made things worse. So I was super stressed out in that situation, and I wished for a new career. So I kind of wrote down everything I wanted in a new career. I didn't write thermography specifically, but now I have everything that I wrote down and kind of wished for. And then back then, through a friend, I met the founder of Breast Thermography International, and he hired me on as his administrative director for BTI. I quickly helped him to grow the company, and after a few years, I had become a trainer for thermography, and we replaced my position with 3 people, and I started my own location down in South Carolina. And I was traveling all over South Carolina and Florida, so I opened about 50 locations in the area. And right now I have 2 technicians who work for me because I have since moved to the state of Washington. I'm in Puyallup, Washington now.
Ta-da!
Yeah. So what is medical thermography? It's possible early cancer detection that could save your life, and it's ideal for preventing future issues through getting infrared imaging of your body. So I have an infrared camera. It's really small and portable, and I take about 30 images of the entire body for the full body scan, and then I send those images to our team of interpreting doctors. They're called thermologists, and they're trained by PAC. PAC is the Professional Academy of Clinical Thermology, and they compose the reports for us. They let us know where in our body we have abnormally hot or abnormally cold heat signatures. And so either could be an issue that everybody should know about right away. And by knowing what's going on in your body thermographically, you can know what to address in the body. Because since it's possible early cancer detection, before somebody finds cancer on their own body, if they feel a lump or if it's detected on anatomical testing, that tumor in most cases took about 10 years to develop. So before you can actually see something, that's like the size of a grape, on anatomical testing, it has a heat signature in most cases. And if you can find out any heat signatures that need some work in your body and follow your doctor's instructions on lifestyle changes, detoxing, what you eat, exercise, supplementing, and other detoxing efforts, you may be able to take those heat signatures and turn them normal or reduce them or improve circulation. And by doing so, you head towards optimal wellness rather than some people aren't lucky enough to know what's going on in their body thermographically, and one day they're diagnosed with cancer or diabetes or they have a stroke. And most of that could be prevented if they just knew what was going on in their body thermographically.
Well, now, this is not new technology.
No. So in 400 BC, Hippocrates first used clay on the body. He put clay on his patients to see where the clay would dry first. And then he knew that was an area of pathology or, a hot spot on the body that he needed to address for his patient. Now,
that was just your next door neighbor, wasn't it? While you were a child growing up?
Bill, they already have seen your pictures.
Okay.
They know that has nothing to do with me. It's all about you.
Okay.
Methuselah. So, stay focused, mister.
I'm staying focused.
Okay.
But in the early 70s, they started using these plates that had a similar technology to that of a mood ring. And they would place the plate for breast cancer screenings up on the breast. And then with a very sophisticated piece of equipment, they used a Polaroid camera.
Very sophisticated.
Yeah.
You even knew how to use those.
Oh, yeah.
So they took a picture of the plate, and then they would send the Polaroids to the interpreting doctor, and he would handwrite a report for the patient about the thermographic findings. Wow. But now we use infrared cameras, and we check the entire body for any heat discrepancies.
That is terribly interesting now. With all this time we've had this technology. That's interesting.
Inevitably, there will be those who will say, this is junk science or
science
something
fiction or something like that. Yeah.
That's Bill's crap,
That's old folks. We're slipping off. Yeah.
It's voodoo, but I've actually experienced it, so and it was very, very true. I had a friend of mine had wanted me to get a thermographic image. And she kept on me. And finally I was like, okay, fine, take one of my head. And so she did. Long story short was...
Found nothing there.
No, that isn't it. They can't scan your brain. Did you not... Yeah. Were you not engaged in the conversation prior to the show?
I was so excited about them scanning your brain.
Bill, sometimes I swear.
It's too deep within the body to see thermographically.
Thank you. Well, they had detected that I had a cavity. And since I only have 2 cavities, so this is my third one, but it wasn't available to the naked eye. It wasn't, it was a rare cavity.
It was deep.
It was one that it was a cavity that started in the tooth.
Oh my. Not
outside of the tooth. And they said it was exceptionally rare. Being the disruptor of normal, why would we want anything normal? When she told me I had a cavity, I went, no, I don't. And of course, now I'm feeling my teeth, I'm going, no, I don't. And of course, that took me I had just had my teeth cleaned and they didn't find anything. And I'm like, I just had it done. They would have told me.
Do you go to a holistic biological dentist?
I ended up going to a dentist 6 months later.
Okay.
And they finally said, yes, you have a cavity. Yes, in that same tooth. So I believed in it before because I've known individuals that have, through my dear friend, had ended up taking and getting those images done and preventing some issues. But
good.
It's different whenever you've experienced that. Pain-free. It was easy. It wasn't weird. It was just a simple... Picture, yeah.
Taking a picture.
So of course I had to eat my words and I said, oh my gosh, you were so right.
Yeah, so I'm a thermographer, a thermal imaging photographer.
Wow.
It's just thermal images of the body.
How rewarding is that?
It's extremely rewarding, especially when patients come back and they get their follow-up scan, and because of tips I gave them or connections that I made for them through some of the doctors or wellness professionals that we work with, when we see those improvements thermographically, I know that I took that patient where they're at a fork in the road. They could head in 2 directions towards optimal health or disease. And when we see thermography improve, we know that that patient's heading in the right direction. And that's my hope for myself and all of my patients.
And it's not just used for, let's say, breast. It's used for the whole body. So
correct.
It doesn't matter. There's a lot of stuff going on. And I know that they've had rare cancers. I've got a friend of mine died of gallbladder cancer. And that's not something that... when they said it, I was like, what?
You don't hear about that a lot.
Of that. And the other one, there was another really super rare cancer. Anyway, so it's not just for breast imaging and prevention of breast cancer, but
Correct.
cancers of all types and all types of organs and things that are hidden away. You need to get this done, Bill.
Oh, get right away.
But those are like, you need to handle this.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
I want you around longer than 2 minutes.
Yeah, so we've seen lots of different types of cancer. We've seen testicular cancer in men, ovarian cancer, breast cancer, thyroid cancer, melanoma, spinal cancer. There's also a screening that we do of your carotid arteries to make sure that the blood flow is looking even on both sides. You have veins right above your eyes right here. Mm-hmm. They're called branches of your supraorbital arteries. So if one side of the forehead is significantly colder than the other, it could indicate possible blockage on the corresponding side.
Wow.
So an oral inflammation is definitely an epidemic in our country. And people don't know that if you clench your teeth, like if you have bruxism or TMJ, that creates microfractures in the teeth. And then bacteria can seep in there and get down into the rest of the body. People who have silver fillings, those have mercury. Mercury is one of the most toxic elements known to man. So if that's right in your mouth, anytime you chew your food or drink something hot, you're getting exposure to mercury toxicity. Root canals, when somebody has a root canal in their mouth, that's leaving a dead part of the tooth in the body and it begins to decay. Well, something decaying creates bacteria that we see sometimes leaking all the way down into the breast.
Wow.
So that's why I mentioned a holistic biological dentist, because I work with a lot of them and they're specially trained in toxicology and how to remove mercury fillings safely, and they educate patients about their entire body, not just the mouth.
So now how young? What's the age?
Good question. So as soon as a child can pose for a camera, we can do their thermography. My youngest patient is 2, and my oldest patient is 96.
96.
So at any age,
you're pecking at that door.
You can benefit about knowing what's going on thermographically in the body.
That's really good. See, there's hope for you, Bill. You're not 96 yet.
Not yet, no.
Almost.
Got a couple of weeks to go yet.
You keep knocking at that door.
Oh, I know.
And to back up, you had mentioned, about the validity of thermography. And it is a science. It's the temperatures of the surface of your body. The spectrum of the doctors who are aware of thermography are, some have never heard of it before, and some are my biggest fan, and they send me all their patients as part of their initial protocol. But those who aren't familiar with it, we have our patients educate their own doctor. And if they're willing to take the time and learn about it, then they can see the valuable information in the report and how to better work with their patient and have their patient as healthy as possible. So if you go onto the PACT website, it's medicalthermology.org. There's a tab on there that says Your Report. And it will help you both to better understand your results once we get you scanned. Mm-hmm. And there's also a paragraph in there about how to talk to your doctor about the results. And I encourage patients who have a doctor who isn't familiar with thermography to send them to that website.
Sure.
And have them read it over. So, if you're coming to your doctor with a medical report and you want them to work with you on it, hopefully they'd be willing to investigate it a little bit to see how they may be able to help their patient.
So what is the cost? Because immediately someone is going to come back and go, oh my gosh, how expensive is this?
For you, about $100,000, because it's going to take them hours to do this job. Hours.
Goodness.
Because you'll pick them apart.
I know. And then there's Bill. So about how much are we looking at?
So no matter who has come to see me, it's always been an hour total for the full body.
Wow.
I'm really good about that hour.
So she's brilliant. She's a professional.
She knows what she's doing.
So for 30 images for the full body scan, it's $549. And what we do is we take a $50 deposit to hold your appointment spot. It goes towards your screening. And the balance is due the day of, or we also do prepayment plans. So for the deposit, somebody can set up a payment plan for like $100 every week or every month, whatever they want to do to get the scan paid for. It is an investment in your health for
Absolutely.
sure. And right now, most insurance companies in the U.S. don't cover thermography.